What's up, everybody? It's Alan the Kraken, and today we are taking a look at Synsouls, The World is Singing, a TCG on Kickstarter. It is currently at $6,000 of its $90,000 goal. I don't think this is going to fund, but, and I don't think the team thinks it's going to fund. They did put an update on Kickstarter saying that it is a possibility and that the game will continue on. They're just trying to figure out how they're going to go about that and try to restructure into a new social media campaign. So hopefully we can help kickstart that a little bit and get some interest and some eyes on the game. First off, this game is really interesting because you have 3 different battlefields for each side. Your opponent has 3 different battlefields. You have 3 different battlefields. Here you have the heart, you have the frame, you have the mind. You're essentially playing with like a commander kind of card. It's called a T-Soul. Here you have how many like creatures or angels can be in each one of those zones. So you can have 3 here in the mind zone, 3 in the frame, and 3 in the heart. And that's what those numbers right there represent. This card is called the Conductor of Faith. While you control a single type of synergy frags you control gain the following effects: exhaust, produce, resource. Next you have concept cards, which kind of act like field spells for each one of these battlefields. You basically put it down, and then, in this case, angel records or creatures in this occupied zone gain +1. We're not going to dive too much into the gameplay mechanics, but their attack, defense, and their resource cost is 3 for each. For every card, it's going to change. So, of course, you have 4, you have an 8, so on and so forth. And then you're going to attack and defend your zones. And then the first person to lose all 3 of their zones loses, and then the opponent wins, or vice versa. So if your opponent loses 3 zones, you win. So you got to deal 60 damage in total across all these zones. Let's take a look at some of the artwork. I don't want to dive too much into the gameplay. I think the artwork is really what stands this game out. Here we have, again, the Conductor of Faith, the T-Soul, the Big Daddy. Then we have Magnan, Doctor of Heavensong, the Land of Heavensong. So they are consistent in the lore and artwork. Magnum, Doctor of Heavensong. There's going to be duplicates because this is a demo deck. Operator of Heavensong. So we're continuing with that Heavensong theme. We have Prion, Protector of the Scion. That looks like a really, really fun card. Just relaxing, chilling in the sky. Here you have the Nerdy Librarian, Tachyon, the Librarian of Heavensong, continuing with the Heavensong theme. This is Arya, the Scion of Heavensong. Probably going to be one of the more sought-after cards from these demo decks, but it's still pretty early to speculate, considering there's not really a lot of demand for this game yet. Here we have Oswald, the Defender of the Scion. Tachyon, Library. One and only. So this is a verse card. The V here means it's a verse. Target a record or concept that shares its name with another active card in the ensemble. Remove it from play. Target a creature or concept or field card that shares its name with another active card in the ensemble. Remove it from play. Okay, so I think that means that you can only have one and only. The name of the card, one and only card in that zone, or at least it'll remove one of the copies. Again, you have Arya again, and then we have Prion, emergency summons. Target a Trinity zone. Creatures in the targeted zone gain cash until end of turn. I think that will be a inherent ability that a keyword gives. I'm just not familiar with it. Scion records in the occupied zone gain. This card may be targeted by attacking records or creatures. Operator of Heaven Song, this card gains +2 while there is a concept in the occupied zone. So getting a field card out seems pretty important for Angels in this deck. Vira Faith. Here we have another one and only, so we got some removal. Oswald. Then we have Choosing Hope. This is like a final special card. They actually have different backs that denote the different types of cards in the game as well. So you don't really get lost too much as far as that goes. But your T-Soul is your main boy. Then this acts as kind of like your insurance policy. You can play it. Condition to play it. One of your Trinity zones crashed this performance. So I assume that after you lose a zone, you can remove up to 10 strain or damage from target Trinity zone and kind of refresh it to give you additional help as far as keeping you alive in the game. And you actually get that off onto the side. I think it's flipped face down, and then when you want to reveal it, you flip it face up and play it when you meet the condition of it. So, pretty interesting. And then we have Wings of Rebirth. Target an angel record costing 2 or less in your void zone and load it into the ensemble. So it looks like a little bit of Graveyard Resurrection. That's pretty cool. Void Resurrection. Operator of Heaven Song. This card gains +2 while there's a concept in the occupied zone. This game doesn't look bad at all. I think it's pretty original. I think that it suffers from a few things. And one of them is not having, like, terminology that a lot of TCG players and collectors would know, like creatures or monster or fiends and stuff like that. I mean, we know what angels are, but as far as, like, Overture, Verse, T-Souls, these fragments and stuff, like, just for, like, pitching a game, I feel like that the game needed to include more friendly terms to appeal to a broader audience. And these are the resources. These are the fragments that you put down in your fragment deck. So you're drawing from a fragment deck every turn. You're not having to worry about getting mana flooded or mana screwed, which is pretty cool. And then it even has the effect exhaust to produce resource. Resource being Vira Faith Fragment. One of the other things that I noticed with this game is there was not a lot of marketing for it at all. I actually just stumbled across it in a Facebook advertisement, and I clicked on it and gave it a shot and contacted the creator, and they were nice enough to send me this stuff over, so that was really nice of them, really, really nice. I do believe that this isn't going to fund, again, but they are saying that it is on their mind, and they were going to try to figure out the correct way to go about marketing this. Now, this is the conductor of Cavalia. The conductor of Cavalia. So this is a T-Soul. So this one also has 3 for each of these zones. You can have that many records in each of those zones. While you control a single type of synergy frags you control gain the following effects. Exhaust, produce Cavalia energy, I guess. It does look like a different resource symbol, so maybe it's different types of resources, what that symbol is. So here we also have another final. The final form is going to be the same in this demo deck. Here we have Bailiff of Villa Xaviera. Then you have an overclock ability for that. Overclock, I think, pay a resource. Target record gains. This card cannot be deleted until end of turn. I think that is basically indestructible for this game. And we have a verse, delete target exhausted record. So one of the records has to have been exhausted or tapped or attacked to play this card on it to get rid of it. So there's a little bit of a better removal card, I'll say. It is a better removal card than the previous one that we saw. Cetata, Warden of Vela Xaviera. Again, we have that overclock ability, return target record to its owner's hand. So you're going to have a little bit more control with this deck, as well as removal. Search your main deck for an Xavierin. I hope I'm saying that right. Reveal it and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Search cards, going to be huge. Daily roll call. Search your main deck. Yep, that's what we just saw. Makeshift lighter. Overclock abilities. Cards you control cost Y less to activate until end of turn. So 1 resource less. That's pretty cool. So it's interesting. I think this is going to be like an aggro beatdown kind of deck. Just by what I'm reading so far. Unjust Punishment. Delete target exhausted record. Again, probably going to be a very strong card in this game if it does ever take off. And I did get 3 of those, I think. Then we have Vela Xaviera, the Floating Point Prison. Exhaust, produce energy. This synergy may only be spent to activate overclock abilities. I might be butchering this a little bit, the gameplay and stuff, but I don't think I'm doing too bad. Then we have Notary of Vela Xaviera. Exhaust, void, produce YY. This synergy may only be used to spent to activate overclock abilities. Exhaust, void, produce YY. Locksmith of Vela Xaviera. Overclock 2. Void target concept. Sticking with the beatdown theme and removal. I do think this is going to be a very strong demo deck. Target record gains cash until end of turn. Alderman of Vela Xaviera. Then we have Overwatch of Vela Xaviera. Overclock, pay that. This card gains +3 for 3, so it's a 6. That's pretty good. Bailiff of Vela Xaviera. Overclock, target record gains. This card cannot be deleted until end of turn. I think we saw that. Makeshift Lighter, we saw that. We've seen that. Okay, I think we've seen them all at this point. Let me make sure. Yep, that'll be it. Then we have the Cavalia. Fragments, exhaust, produce, Y, resource. So there are different resource types in this game, and I think that symbol will denote, the symbol will denote what type of resource it is. So that's pretty cool. We had a bunch of those. And they also sent out this really nice mat. This mat is pretty high quality. And they also sent out 2. So I am going to end up demoing this locally with some friends and see what they think. But right now, it's an original game. It's it looks pretty fun. It looks easy to learn. And there's not a lot of, like, complicated stuff bogging it down for the player. I really like that, and I think where the most strategy is going to come into this game is playing which field you want to set up early on to kind of defend a field, so you kind of stay in the game longer. But then I can also see like this aggro deck just being like, I don't care if you have records in your zones. I'm just going to remove them and just keep attacking. So it does seem like the Angel wants to set up a little bit more defensively so they can get set up to increase their power, and then this just removes Angels and anything else in its way. So I do think this is going to be the stronger deck. I think this has potential if more cards come out and the game does start pushing out cards. And plus, a lot of people love Angels. So thanks for stopping by. Remember to have fun. You all have a wonderful day. And peace.